Everybody. So we're going to go over the month long. We already went off over the kickoff, which has the same currency. So we're going to go over the month long wall now, and you need to make a decision. Unfortunately, within the next 2 days and 5 hours, if you're going to use any of this currency. So this wall is mainly characters and plates, right? The other one is going to be we've got a moment, we've got gears, we've got plates, we've got straps, we have shards, we have hype, we have medals, okay, tier 6 medals, tier 5 medals. Uh, let's just go ahead and say, please do not get the tier 5 medal packet. It's just, it's foolish and wasteful. Um, we have hype, we have some shards, and then we have econ. Econ, outside of our props, I want y'all to notice there are two new ones added to the wall. Okay, this one right here, and according to this, it's not RNG. The prop wizard combo. It's a combo, so we should be getting everything that's in there, and these increase our multiply gems by 5. These by 4, which I don't get the whole. Oh wait, times 3 means you get 3 of those, and then these by 3. Um, these are going to be really big whenever it comes down to. Let's talk about some smaller factions during a boss battle. If there's a need for a multiply gem user, that would be big for that. It would also be big for any time that they do the stipulation tours where we are trying to do so much damage, right? Where it's do damage per turn or something like that. Not your ones that are your weekly, what is it? The speed tours, but the ones that offer a plate or something like that, a moment token, anything like that, really helpful for those tour capabilities. Not a bad price either. All right, so again, you have to decide this week within 2 days, 5 hours and it's as of the time that I'm recording this. I'm going to try to get this out as quickly as possible, though. That way we have time to look and make a educated decision. I value the things on this prize wall more so than the characters on this prize wall. Now, there are some make and break roster characters in here, right? Rhea, Ray Phoenix, both are huge. Huge, huge, huge. Ray, especially because of his training capability. Rhea, just because she's so obnoxious and so strong, both move damage and gem damage. She's good on any roster. Doesn't need much to get her hitting, honestly. You could 2-click with very little for 100 million. Easy, easy character to play with. Asuka requires a little bit more, which is why she's at a little bit cheaper of a thing. But she does have a ceiling of about 110 million, maybe, in that ballpark. Jacqueline, I don't see a big rush to get her as of right now. She has a really good reversal, but I don't see a huge rush to get her with us getting China. So there's some make cards in here. There are. Visceral, I really like that price on him. Same thing with any of these 3 in that middle row. If you're missing any, I would not say, I would gladly take them. And same with Carmelo. Carmelo is roster changing because of his trainer capability. All right, outside of that, we already went over that wall. We're going over here. What does your roster need? Do you really need more cards? Or do you need the things that make your cards you have work better? Okay? And that's what we're talking about, working better. So if we see these are some really high gears. I think for free, we're going to be talking about probably in our 30,000 range. That's typical of an MLC. No insider information if we're getting more this MLC because of the change to the wall, or if it's going to be, with it being 4 week, if you're getting instead of 30,000, 40,000. Don't know any of that at this time. What I can tell you is that a typical MLC is going to be somewhere in the ballpark of about 30K. That being said, there's some really strong gears here. There's three things for sure that make Twisted Bliss one of the strongest female cards in the game today, and that is her gear, the 8th anniversary, It's a Trap, and the Thomas chest. Many people got a Thomas chest last MLC. This is an opportunity to get the second thing that she would need out of the three. Yes, it is a high selling point at 24K, but we are doing what's best for our roster. If you're somebody that struggles in the ladies, as far as getting feud done with ladies, boss done with ladies, showdown done with ladies, this gear is very powerful. It's one of those that it does take all three to get the most, but it is very powerful. Moving on, the yellow gear is way too expensive. Brutus Creed sucks. I would rather you take the one for Andrade and do a botch setup and risk Cascade over Brutus's yellow gear. He is trash. Moving on, the next row, you've got 2 Rumbles and a defensive plate. This does not decrease their MP. It only does 80% for 3 turns of their gem damage reduction. It's good on people like El Grande. Too expensive for this wall. Way too expensive. Now, our next row, we have our 8th anniversaries. I want you to put a big red X on top, and I'm going to do it just to demonstrate of how we make our X properly. Let's go ahead and just get plates on the screen. Let's go ahead and put a big red X right here, right there, right there, right. Right here, right here. This one's good for Punk, PG era. This one is good for Cody. But that's saying that you don't have better for them, right? A Rainbow Snowfall for Cody or a Parrot Plate. So these two, though, we're not going to focus on. The Black Crossfire has some homes, but it's just one of those off this prize wall. I don't see the value in that. This is definitely my number 1. And this is my number 2. And why? The sell price. If I get this, I could get other things. If I get this, I get one thing. So out of these 2 options, that's how I rate those. Both are equally strong. But it's the sell price that encouraged me to look at one and not the other. And the same thing we're going to talk down here about sell prices. This is fine. This is actually a really strong plate for what it is. Really brings out Haku, Showboat, McCool. Believe it or not, if you've got the MP gear, very, very strong on her to do a 3-click. She's a Rhea killer if you run that 3-click. This is way too expensive and doesn't do enough. This we have better and cheaper. You could get the 500% on the wall for 2 days, 5 hours. For the same or cheaper price, this is only a 100%, not a 500. So let's go ahead and X that out. This is actually a pretty dang good plate right here, and it's not a bad cost. It's 100%, but it's a basic plate. And it's really good on, like, your people that don't necessarily need the 8th anniversary yet. So I have this plate on Punk right now, Acro Punk PG era, very good for him. Also, this plate here, we're going to talk about briefly, very good for Rhea. It's good for Asuka, the Arcade Assassin. Not a bad sell point. It's within range. Um, Legends Rhea. So I use it more on my ladies than anything. I've got a few of these. So I've got one on Rhea for sure. I've got one on Asuka, and I can't remember. There's a few other homes for it. Not a bad plate to have. Getting into the straps. I don't like the sell point of this, but I do like the fact that it is 200, and I don't like the fact that it's any era in class. I could tell you the luck that I have had with these. I have pulled a lot of Powerhouse, Ruthless Aggression, and PG era. Yeah, they like to just. I don't understand the low RNG rating of good straps for good eras, but they like to slap you in the face and say fuck you any chance they get. They do when they put these in there. For me, other people have been very successful. It's just one of those things. All right, moving on. The other straps, the price is fine. I'm actually going to be going for some of these. I really like the Attitude Era ones, and I really like the Modern and Hall of Fame. Outside of that, I'm not in the need for any Legends straps at the current time. Same with New Gen. I've got plenty of New Gen high-powered straps. PG Era, I'm fine with. Ruthless Aggression, I'm fine with. Reality Era and Ruthless Aggression, though, you really roll the dice because they're just so limited. With Reality Era, you only got 3 good characters as of now. And, since they nerfed, what's his name? Oh, the recent nerf that they just did. Bray Wyatt. They, according to 2 people in our faction, they were hitting over 100 million with him with the Tama, and it's a trap, and now he is trash. They really did not do him any favors. Yeah. You just roll the dice with that. Same with Reality Era, and the same with PG Era. These are a roll of the dice. I feel like they're too expensive since they have so many bad characters in those and few good. Move damage we're not worried about. We get those straps generically. We are not spending for them ever. Put a big red X here. And I would encourage you to find other things over these. Although if you're... Look, I say that. If you struggle for straps, there's no harm in doing that. But you need to be exhausting your armory as well to get better straps. So just food for thought. All right, coming down, we got hype up next. If you struggle with hype, this is a very good area. You know who's good. You know who's bad. You know not to get Trick Williams hype because he's absolute trash. You know not to get Oba hype unless you're putting a drip plate on him because he just fucking sucks. That was 2 very, very underperforming cards. Rhea's fine. Muda's fine. Steve Blackman is fine, although he's a fucking trainer. I don't know why you would go above and beyond to do that. He'd be getting an affiliation strap and just sitting there for me. Jacqueline is fine. All of these are fine. What I've been doing is I've been doing a slow creep. I got some really hard hitters up to hype 4 early. I just focus on them and just push. Now I've been working on getting people slowly up to level 3. That way I can just naturally get some as I pull them. I'm not pushing any wild on them. One of them is Dudenator. I will be more than happy to grab those 30 Dudenator and then use wild to get them the rest of the way because it's only going to cost me 20 wild. It makes sense. It's a good move. You know your roster. You know where you need hype. You could future purchase for like Lola, or if you didn't get Sol Ruka, you could future purchase for her. I would just be a little cautious on the future purchase. You know, it's one of those, if you know you typically don't get somebody within the first 6 months of their release, I'd wait. You know, I wouldn't. This currency is very valuable. This wall is very good. There's a lot of things to purchase. So you kind of want to spread the wealth as best as possible. Get that crap off. I had shit on my screen. Sorry. I hate that because I love Mark Henry. They had to make him move damage. And they had to make it to where, oh, you got to do an infinity build to make him good. You don't necessarily have to. You could 4-click him and do 100 million. It's just, I hate move damage. And I don't invest in the future of my roster with move damage. Liv is going to be a target for me. I'm buying both of those because she is a hard era, right? Bradshaw, fantastic. I'm buying both of those. That will get me within 20 of getting, I think it's 20 or 40 of getting him to hype 4. But I will gladly buy at those purchase points. Those are very, very good. Going down the charts, you know, what do you need? Again, I would not waste it on. There's not great shards here. We're not buying this. That is a big turd. That is a little turd right there. There you go, Iron Sheik. We're not overly investing in Mark. I don't like this sell price for Mark. He's not that valuable. Asuka, you could outright pull her for cheaper than what they're offering the shards. And Seth is fine. This is way too expensive for him for shards when you can outright pull him. And then, of course, again, if you did not get this A tier, do not concern yourself with it. He is trash. I really like the Viscera price. I really like the El Grande price, although I wish the El Grande price was the matching of the Viscera, because technically Viscera is better, although it's, you know, tit for tat. Viscera is really strong for feud, and I could 2-click him 2 different ways for feud and still easily win, whereas El Grande, I really only like him with the botch setup for feud, but he's really good for Titan, whereas Viscera I don't like in Titan. So very good in Titan, very good in feud. Each have their own value. I feel like those should match, but I guess they felt the need to do it. And then you got Econ, okay? Econ really, it's... You should be getting all of this in your tours. If you're not doing your tours, then that's on you. But we're not focused on buying these at these cost price from here. It's just not worth it. Get these from your tours. The only thing out of Econ that you might be interested in getting might be something like this, because it has a decent amount of those. But that's really low level shards for him. Really low level. 25. And you know, our focus is going to be these. And then these new ones down here. And these. We should not be buying health packs. We should not be buying this. We get those from playing the game. That's the prize wall. That's the breakdown. Do what's best for your roster. For you, it might be that you need to focus on hype. It might be that you need to focus on gear. It might be that you need to focus on plates. You know where your roster struggles. You know what characters you want to use, but you can't use because you're just missing that one piece. Does any piece from here complete that puzzle? The one thing we didn't talk about, and we'll take just a minute, is this moment here, the new Joe Hendry moment. I'm going to be very, very blunt with this. I think it's too expensive. It is at that price tag because it's brand new. But that being said, it's a little too expensive. I'm going to need to hit 40 in order to consider taking it. But it's good. Okay, you only need the one moment token, so that does recruit it for you. There's a lot of rare characters in here. They're all S tiers. Okay, besides CM Punk, go to sleep. So even if you get it, can you unlock it? Let's see if it states. Acquire the superstars to activate the moment. These superstars will get additional bonuses. It used to tell us. It used to tell us how many we needed. I don't remember where that is. But for me, this thing's already in the moment loop from what this just said. You see that up here. Moment loop, right? That's where I'm hunting it and why. The moment's fine. It really is. But it's not game changing. Okay? It's more health for Cena if you're trying to just make him the healthiest person in Titan that you possibly can. It's got good health for Cena. It's got good gem damage for Dom. It's got good gem damage for Seth. And even Cena, if you're running the multiply with the trap setup, it does have good damage in there. But our multis aren't going up. The blast gem's doing 200%. Doesn't move the needle for Cody because of the fact that he creates 8. You know, that moveset is really... it's more of he's gem damage over that buff. His buff has never been really a focal point on him. It was always the weakest thing. 200% is not going to make it obnoxiously strong. It's not. And then it's really lanyap for both Hendry and AJ Styles and even Orton. It's not a must-have moment, I don't feel. Personal opinion, I'm not saying it's a bad moment by any means. I welcome this moment, and it's a good addition to the game. It's just not a game changer. So, am I using, 24K to get that moment? I would, but I'm going to need to hit 40. Oh, wrong wall. I'm going to need to hit 40 in order for me to consider that. Because my main goal, I could tell you, I've already got all these gears, but I'm missing 3MB. I could care less. I'm not spending for it. It's just, I just won't use Drew. Don't care. So I've got all these. Punk is a game-changing gear for him, for MP. You only need one gear to make Penta slap, honestly. So the cheaper gear would be the way to go. But I can't say that I would go all in on it. Okay, Penta's not game-changing for any game mode. He's not going to make or break your boss. He's not going to make or break your feud. He's not going to make or break your... Titan. And for whatever reason, they pretty much gave him for free, but they've made his gears fairly hard to obtain after the initial. And it's for a character that I think the community was very sour on. Not because of who he is, but because of the fact that he's technically turn 2. It's still turn 1, but it's really turn 2. He's got a weird playstyle that is, it's different. It's not bad. It's really not. But I just feel those are a bit high for him. I think that first gear should be at the 24K where the Alexa Bliss one is. That man, that gear is so awesome for her. But anyways, I would need to get. My goal is the Star Cross. I want another one of those. I want. I want some new straps. So, and I'm grabbing some hype. That's my focal point. That's where I'm spending this MLC. And if I get what I'm wanting, then I'll go ahead and get the gear or the moment as a bonus little, sure, why not? So, again, you have 2 days from the time I'm recording this. 2 days, still 5 hours, to go ahead and make a decision if you're going to get anything off of the Believe kickoff wall. And if not, start formulating a plan. I would encourage you to wait until the end of the MLC before you make any purchases. That last day where there's nothing to do, that's where I typically spend my prize wall. Although there's sometimes some the very day after. If you see, we still got the prize wall. I've still got 3K from the previous one. Either that Monday that there's nothing to do, or the Tuesday, the day after, we're gonna go ahead and probably grab. I don't know. I don't know what to grab. I'll probably grab some econ, to be honest. But regardless, wait till the end of the event. Get all your duckies in a row. Get everything that you've got coming to you before you press that spend button. Everything on that wall could be technically game changing for you. It could bring back somebody that you enjoyed using before as far as hype. If you're able to get them up to that next hype tier where they're usable for you again. But please wait. The only rush is going to be if you're for sure getting something off the wall that ends this week. And that wall, remember, ends before reset on Friday. Before reset on Friday. You have to grab something if you're planning to grab it. They're not going to extend it based off of, oops, I didn't grab it, So there is our Power of Believing prize wall for the month long. Hopefully this helps you out, make your decision. I didn't want to spend too much time on each individual item just because of the fact that you know what your roster needs. If I tell you 100 great things about the CM Punk gear, that's all fine and dandy. But if you know that you don't have Punk and you're not on a clear path to getting Punk, then it's just wasting time. So take a good look at your roster. This is definitely a positive move in the right direction, as not everything should be spent in this game, right? There should be some things that, hey, I played and got this. And that's what this wall is. We play, we obtain. And the more you obtain, or the more you play, the more you obtain. There is a cap, right, where it switches from obtaining to spend. But let's get the best and what will do the most value for our roster as a whole. And again, a 24K gear for Alexa might be what's best, even if that's the only thing you could get, because you really struggle with your ladies. Same with the hype, for Liv. That might be a focal point because you were able to get a red snowfall plate, but you just need a stronger lady in your hype levels, so that might get her up a little bit higher for you there. There's no wrong decisions besides econ. We should not be buying econ from that wall. We play for econ. That's a wrap, guys.